Today we are super excited because what we're going to be talking about is how to do hand raise posts that actually get the right people raising their hands so that you can get into a conversation and convert them into a client. So I wanted to start off by just talking about what everybody says that they want. How many of you are sitting here going, if I just had more followers, if I just had a bigger audience, if I just had more leads, all of these people would see my offer and all of these people would buy it and I would make more revenue. If that's you, just say yes in the chat. And truthfully, every single time we audit our community, we ask that question every single time. People are like, I want more eyeballs. Because they think if more people see the thing, more people will help themselves and buy it and I will make more money. And wouldn't that be amazing? And so here is the thing, whether we're chasing followers, whether we're chasing eyeballs, whether we're chasing engagement, here's the direct question I want every single person to answer. What would happen if you got your wish right now? What would happen if you put up a post and you got all the likes, all the eyeballs, all the comments that your heart could desire? What would you do then? Would you know exactly what to say to those people to go from engaging on your social media post into the DMs to where you're actually going to convert the sale? So we're going to cover just a very simple strategy. It's 4 steps. It's very, very simple. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, if I'm trying to sell this, what type of hand raiser post should I post in order to actually get my ideal client to honk their horn, AKA comment? And then what on earth would I say to them once they do comment so that I can get into the DMs and follow up, okay? Would this be helpful for you guys to have a system that you could just do this on rinse and repeat? Because here's the thing, you guys, a lot of times people are like, I'm always selling, my offer's always for sale. But the reality is if you are not intentionally doing things to make sales happen, you're making no sales. That's just the truth. So what we want to do is we actually want to do a very strategic hand raiser post relevant to what it is that you are selling. So while we're doing this training, I'm actually going to share a GPT that I've made that actually basically does a lot of this work for me, which is really, really awesome. But I'm going to kind of take you through the different hand raisers, right? So the first thing that we always want to do is say, okay, what is it that we're selling, right? And then what we need to do is have some sort of trigger event that is going to be like, oh, now is the time as the coach, the course creator, the consultant, that I should be aggressively telling people about it. And now is the time that all of my prospects should pay attention and start raising their hand and saying, yes, I want to actually purchase it. So how do we make this happen? First, we have to say, okay, what am I selling? Then we have to decide, how am I going to sell it? Am I going to do an event, a free training, a paid challenge, a paid workshop, a masterclass, whatever it is that you're going to sell? Or you could straight up sell from a hand raiser post. It's a little bit harder to do, but it absolutely can be done. Once you have decided on those 2 things, then what you can do is strategic hand raise posts to actually get people to raise their hand. So I'm just going to say, can you create my hand raisers for this event? And so there's a number of different types of hand raisers that we would recommend. And this GPT that I've created just basically spits out my top favorite types. So the first one is really like a curiosity catcher. I want you to think about the purpose here. What we want to do is to say, who has the problem that I solve, or who has the goal that I can help them accomplish? Those are the people we want to actually have our eyeballs on our post and to have comment. Because the reality is you could have tons of eyeballs, tons of things, but if they're not buyers, it doesn't actually matter. So the goal of the hand raised post to be like, okay, how do I get the people who have this problem to be like, me, it's me, right? And typically that's through just a very simple curiosity catcher. So you're gonna see here, my GPT just went ahead and made it for me, but I'll give you guys a couple of examples. So one of probably my favorite curiosity catcher posts that we've ever done has been our chat templates. This is the way I framed it. I said, who wants my chat templates that helped us? And I have a couple variations of this, right? I have one that says, who wants our chat templates that tripled our response? Think about what I'm doing. I'm talking about the results you want. And these are the people who are like, ooh, I want higher response rate. And so they commented. And then I have another one that's like, hey, want to grab a copy of our chat templates that helped us sell 6 figures monthly? All of the people commenting are like, ooh, I want that. Do you see how what we're doing is, do you want this thing that helped me get this result so you can do it too? So that's kind of the curiosity catcher, right? And you're going to see we have another one here. And again, you can see my chat templates, they work. So guess what? I do it over and over and over, just a different angle. Want to grab our chat templates that helped us sell $56,000 in 19 days. I want to just point something out about this, right? We have 1.2 thousand comments on it. This is the coolest thing, you guys. This post is back from 2022. It still works. This post, if I click on the, you're gonna see, look at Daria, that's you 2 days ago, right? How crazy is that, right? People are still commenting on this post from 3 years ago, because when you have one that hits and people continue to comment, the algorithm does the work for you, right? So that is the crazy value of having a really, really good post. Okay? So what you're gonna notice is the curiosity catcher is very simple. It's basically like, hey, who has this problem or wants this result, and you just are going to call that out so that people raise their hand, right? And so here's another one that you can see that this is my chat GPT just made this for me. Are your leads slipping through the cracks? You don't need more. You just need to manage them better. That's what I teach. Comment work, I'll send you the details. So very, very simple. The next type of hand raiser post that we teach is an event spotlight. So let's say, for example, I don't want to just give you my chat templates. Think about this. How many times have you gotten a lead magnet and never actually used it or applied anything that you got from it? You're like, oh, I got this great thing. You download it, you never look at it again. That's pretty much what happens. So here's the thing. When we do our curiosity catcher or direct drop call to action post, what you're going to notice is when we DM you, we don't just be like, all right, here's the DMs. We're like, okay, great. We're going to give these to you and teach you how to implement them at the training on Thursday. Come there and that's where you're gonna get them. And the reality is you're doing a service to your people, right? Don't just give them something they're never gonna use. Be like, great, let me help you do it, okay? And so it's really, really important that we don't just give them the thing straight out the gate, because then, the lead is basically lost. So that's going to be super important. So what you're going to notice is what we'll often do is we will also use a trigger event like, hey, we're going to do a training, we're going to cover it. So this is another type of hand raiser post that you see us do quite often, which is spotlighting the event itself, right? Where we might say, hey, this Thursday, we're running this event where we're going to give you the DM chat templates. Would you like the link to come? This week, we're doing a workshop where XYZ is going to happen. Would you like the link to come? Okay, so we can straight out talk about a workshop. Now, here is the thing. Not everybody wants to go to a workshop, right? And we say this all the time. Nobody wants to buy your workshop. No one wants to buy your program. No one wants to buy your software. They want a result. So sometimes you're going to see that some posts are going to go better than others. We actually did a workshop the other day. I did a post similar to the spotlight where I'm like, hey, we're spotlighting this event. But what I realized is after I got 0 comments and 0 sales on it was that nobody wanted to come to the event. What they wanted was the outcome. So I said, okay, in this instance, this type of hand raiser post isn't giving me traction. Let's flip it out. And so instead I said, who wants our GPT that's going to write your entire from your post all the way to your pitch? You can unlock it during this event. All of a sudden, tons of comments, tons of sales. We got back into business. So the thing I want you guys to start to realize too is like, you may do a really good post and then you may have one flop. And that's why it's important to have these different types of hand raisers, because you need to see and you need to test which ones are going to work for different instances. So super important to kind of try that out. Okay. All right. The next type of hand raiser post that we often are going to do is what we call a direct drop. And that is basically where we are straight up selling from our post. Okay. Now I want to just preface that this is going to be much more effective for a warm audience. People who know you, who like you, who already are aware of what you do. These are going to be the people much more likely to purchase from a post like this. So we might just have a simple hook that calls out the pain and then explain how we're going to solve it and then talk about it right here. So we might say, hey, tired of wondering if your leads are falling through the cracks? I created Work My Leads to fix the #1 revenue leak in your business, lost conversations. And then I go on to say, this is what we do in the program. this is the cost. And you're going to notice we straight up say the cost in the post. I don't want people to have to wonder, should I buy this? Should I not? I just basically put the entire piece of information straight up in the post. Okay. And then we always like to add information about proof and does it actually work? Because that's always the question people have, right? So we then just do a very simple call to action post, okay? So we have done tons of posts like this where we're like, hey, we're running an accelerator. It's happening on this day. We've got 20 seats available. And we will just straight up sell from that post, okay? We also have had plenty of clients that have also done the same thing, and they have sold out an entire program just from one post, okay? Which is really, really crazy. The last type of post, and we've got tons of others. In fact, we have an entire library of swipe copies, but the last one is more so a micro win, right? Where we might say something like, hey, I did this thing and I got this really great result. Would you like me to show you how I did it? Would you like me to show you the exact steps? So basically, we're giving them something actionable that they can implement right away. And then we're saying, well, that's just one piece of the pie, right? We're going to give them the thing and then we're going to say, oh, by the way, there's so much more. Would you like to come to our event where we're going to detail it and give you the entire thing? Okay, so those are 4 different types of posts that you can do on a scale, right? So we've got the curiosity catcher, we've got the direct drop, the micro win. We have all of these different types of posts. How many of you are sitting here going like, okay, yeah, I think I could write one of those, especially if maybe you had the GPT and it did it for you, right? But how many of you are sitting here going like, okay, cool, Jenna. I love that we've got these different types of posts and yes, they make sense strategically, but I still get crickets. How many of you are saying I still get crickets? Just say crickets in the chat, right? So I'm going to give you 2 ninja hacks right now that are going to freaking change your life in terms of getting people to comment on your post. First one is obviously if you place it in a place where people are your ideal client, you're going to get more of the right eyeballs on your stuff. So of course, more of those people are going to comment. But the second thing that you guys can do is, for example, you're going to do like an event or you want to get a lot of eyeballs on a particular post. Number 1, don't do a ton of different posts about it. Do one post where you're concentrating all of the eyeballs because we want the algorithm to work for us. And the more we give the algorithm, the more it gives us. Okay, so what we're gonna do is when we are doing a post and we want to get a lot of traction on it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to that post and we're actually gonna click on the timestamp right here under the post. And you can do this whether on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, inside a Facebook group, on a personal profile, it doesn't matter. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click right on there and you're gonna grab the post URL or the permalink, okay? Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your email list. Regardless of whether or not these people follow you or on social media at all, you're gonna send an email and it's gonna be a very simple email. Oh my gosh, I just dropped this really cool thing. Tell them what it is. So in my instance, I might say, hey, I just dropped a post talking about our chat templates that helped us earn 6 figures in a month. Click here to get information. So when they click in your email, guess what happens? When they click that link, it takes them directly to that post, which is so cool, right? Because imagine you've got a list of 2,000 people on your email list, 20% of them open it and click the button. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of concentrated eyeballs on that post. Really, really cool. So that's something that you can do that is going to get more traction, get more eyeballs. And of course, the more people that comment, the more people that are going to be shown the post because the algorithm's like, ooh, this is a juicy one. Let me get it in front of more people. So that's hack number 1. Hack number 2 is you can do the same thing with the permalink, but you can send it in the DMs. So for example, if I wanted to take this post and I wanted to send it to a bunch of people and be like, hey, this is this really cool thing. Do you want to see it? What's going to be so awesome is that if and it may work, it may not right now, it just depends. So if I go, Lindsay, and I go to send her this message, look at this, and I post it in there, 2 things are going to happen. Either it's going to show a picture of my Facebook group, or in most instances, what will happen is it will actually show the picture of the post as a preview. So I want you to think about this. Everybody's DMing all the time. If everybody else is just sending words, but yours has an image in it, already it's going to be a pattern interrupt. But guess what? When they click on it, guess where it takes them? You guessed it, right back to this post, right? So more eyeballs, more eyeballs, more eyeballs, okay? So we're gonna email it, and then we're also going to message it, okay? So one of the things that we do is we will grab different posts that we are, thinking are going really well, and we will just send it to people to get it in front of more eyeballs. And it works like crazy, and people are very grateful. So the way we do it, you're just looking at my DM inbox right here. You're gonna see I've got a lot of DMs, and you can see, look, these were all sent within the last hour, last couple hours. You can see this is a great example. I had a post I wanted people to see, and this is a perfect image, right? If they click on this, it takes them directly to that post I wanted their eyeballs on, okay? So the way that I get this message out to the masses is using GroupTrack bulk messaging. So what that means is I could say, okay, all of these people who are in my leads list, I want them all to get this DM. And of course, you can see, just like what I said, it's a pattern interrupt. There's a picture, they can click on it, and it will take them right back to the post I want them looking at, AKA more eyeballs, okay? So if we do this, right, we get our post going and we actually start getting comments and engagement, just like y'all said you wanted at the beginning of this training. I said, okay, what if you actually get what you want? Would you know what to say next in order to convert them? And that's where everybody was like, no, ma'am, I do not. So this is the next piece, and you'll see here our GPT is going to do the work for you. But what you can do is, based on the type of post that you posted, you will have specific DMs that you can send to the people who comment on that post. So for example, if I did the curiosity catcher, I'm gonna say, hey, first, I saw your comment on this post. I'm running a training with you that's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Would you like to come? So do you guys see how it goes exactly from post with a strategic DM that goes with it, so that I'm connecting the dots? You commented on this post, therefore I'm messaging you as a follow-up. It feels good, it doesn't feel spammy, and what's really awesome is it's reminding the person, hey, the reason I'm messaging you is because you engaged with my post and asked for information. So you're gonna see, if you have the curiosity catcher, here's some DMs that you guys can send. And you guys can take a screenshot of this while I'm showing, or if you guys actually want this GPT, I'll drop the link for you to grab it. But what we want you guys to do, right, is to say, okay, I did this kind of post. What should I say to them? So for example, if we're doing a post where we're just straight up talking about what we're doing, here's a different DM that it will create for you. Thanks for commenting on my post about this thing. Here's the information, da 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 da. So again, these DMs are strategically crafted to be follow-ups to the exact hand raiser post that you did, okay? So next up, if we've got a direct drop, like where we're like, hey, I'm doing this accelerator. It starts on March 25th. We've got 20 spots. It's $227 a month, blah, blah, blah. Who wants it? What do we say to those people in the DMs to get them to convert? So here's a DM that we could say, hey, appreciate you raising your hand on this post. And you're gonna notice almost every single type of DM that I use is referencing what action they took first. Because the reason I'm doing this is because I wanna make sure they realize I'm not just like cold DMing you. I'm not a weirdo. You did this, so I'm following up. So that's why almost every time you're gonna notice I start off the DM by acknowledging what they did first. Hey, thank you for raising your hand. And you could even put the link to the post so they get the picture of it and they're like, oh yeah, I did comment on that post, right? To jog their memory. And then we're just gonna say, awesome, thanks for commenting on the post. Did you want me to send you the checkout link, or do you have a few questions first? And then again, if they want more details, here's an additional message that we can send them. Great, here's what we do in the program. We do this, we do this, we do blah, blah, blah. Would you like me to save your spot? So again, the hand raiser's great, the eyeballs are great, but if we don't actually get in the DMs and convert them, it is all for nothing, right? So that's why we want to take it this further, okay? And then of course we've got the micro win. Hey, thanks for jumping in on this post where we talked about this. That tip I shared is just one piece of what we cover here. We go deeper, right? So remember that micro win is we give them a little bit and then they get a win. And then they're like, wait a minute, there's so much more. Okay. So again, these DMs are designed to be the follow-ups to the very specific types of posts. Okay. So that's going to be super important. Okay. And so then what we need to do is we've got to make sure that we actually go and close them, right? So we can start the conversation. That's one thing that's great. But of course, what we actually need to do is bridge, gap, offer, proof, urgency, and call to action, right? And so once we get them in front of us, whether you're doing a paid training, a free training, a workshop, a challenge, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that we're doing, once they're in of us, what do we need to do? Well, we need to make an offer because again, just like I said before, we could get all the eyeballs we want. We could get all the comments we want. We could even get all the DMs we want at this point. But if we don't actually show up and make an offer, none of this is for anything, right? And so that's why we want to say a very simple way to make an offer, right? So I'll show you how I would do this for you guys right now. I might say, okay, great. So today we talked about all of these different hand raisers and how to get more people there and da 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 da, right? Like we could go through the whole thing. Then we could open up a gap and say, so now you understand what to do, but doing it is actually a totally different thing. Sometimes you do posts that flop. Sometimes you need this, da 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 da. So I would say, here's the gap as to why you might need a little extra help actually implementing it. Then what we do is we go into the offer. And so we could say, so I created this GPT that basically is going to plug and play and do the entire thing for you, right? So see how we do that? We go, we tell them, we give them the goods, we share exactly what they should do. Then we open up a tiny bit of a gap to be like, okay, yes. And here's the beautiful thing. We want your training to be so valuable that the reality is they could just literally take what you gave them, walk away, and do some great things on their own. That's beautiful. But there are more people that are like, no, I want to go faster, better, harder. I want results quickly. And of course, you want to make an offer for that. And so then you're going to make the offer during the live call. And then after, you can do your follow-up DMs and say, okay, hey, thank you so much for joining our thing. Did you want to come? Blah, blah, blah. But basically, it's going to take your entire offer, go all the way through your trigger event, your posts, your DMs, and your follow-up, okay? So that is kind of the idea of what we want to do. You know, the beautiful thing is people are like, oh, I want the hand raisers, I want the hand raisers. But what I'm hoping you guys walk away from this quick training with today is that the hand raisers are great. The eyeballs are even better, right? The views, the engagement, all of the things that you want. But if we don't have a way to actually get into the DMs and to actually have the right conversation to convert, how on earth are we going to get clients? And so that's where we want to take the hand raiser and then do the full follow through. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and I am happy to go through them with you.
I was just gonna say, do you always send them back to a Facebook message versus outside of Facebook?
You could do either, right? So I like to, if I'm, if Facebook is like my main jam, then I'm always going to send them back to Facebook. And the reason why, you might be wondering, you know how I said we've got the chat or the hand raiser post? Why do you send the link to the permalink instead of to your event, right? Facebook loves Facebook. If I DM a bunch of people a link and that takes them off Facebook, Facebook is mad at me. Same with Instagram and same with LinkedIn, right? So when I'm going and I'm sending the DMs, I'm almost always going to try to get them to stay on the platform, but I'm going to get them to go into the room of the platform that I want them to go to. So that way, Meta likes me. It sends more of my messages. I mean, I think right with the strategies that we're implementing, we've been able to send about 100 to 150 DMs per day, which is incredible, right? When you think about that reach and just, and so much of it is so exciting because the reality is we're serving, right? You guys saw that message that I sent right here. It's a complete give. There's not any offer here whatsoever, right? I'm like, hey, I did this really cool post. I shared these awesome things. Do you want to take a look at it? Because the thing is, if we're only selling, people, they get tired. We've got a deposit before we ask for the withdrawal, right? And so what we want to do is just give some, right? But you can see, how cool is this? Actually, Jenna needs to follow up, clearly, right? But here's what's really cool. Look, I just gave, and now all these people are like, well, I want this, I want this, I want this. How easy do you think it will be for me to DM these people using the exact strategy I just showed you guys? I'm gonna say, awesome, thank you so much for commenting on my post about the top DMs that are exploding, blah, 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 right? And then I'm gonna say, we actually have, and we do, the raddest GPT that writes your DMs, like your entire DM flow for you. And so I'm gonna go make these people that offer because they've raised their hand, they've expressed interest, and I have something that can help them, right? So when you think about the ease it will be for me to close these people, it is so much easier than if I'm just like randomly cold DMing people, trying to get them into my world or trying to make offers. It's just uncomfortable for everybody, right? And so this is the thing. I believe with everything in my soul, if you feel convicted and compelled to tell somebody something that you're really excited about, then you'll do it. But I think so often we think, well, everybody knows what I sell. I don't need to go tell them. And it's like, no, if you're not telling people, you're telling no one. And so I'll give a great example. I sell GroupTrack every day. It's always for sale, but it doesn't mean we get sales every day because people have to go find it. They have to do the thing unless I'm running ads in the background doing my work for me, right? So here's the thing. If I want to get a bunch of trials for GroupTrack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to host an event, a trigger that is going to say, you should show up on this day, this time, learn this, let me give to you, and then I'll make an offer on that call. Now, if I have a trigger event, guess what goes with it? The call to action CTA posts that we just talked about, and all of the DMs to get them in, right? So guess what? That's what we did last quarter. We did a big event. We had over 400 people register because we hosted a trigger event, could be super easy, just like ours was, it was free. We did a couple CTA posts. We had the right DM going, just like I showed you guys today. All these people showed up. We made an offer on the call and they converted. And this is just what we do over and over and over and over again. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.